The roosters of Umuife village crowed before the sun. A thin mist hung over the red earth like breath held between worlds. From the forest's edge, the air carried a strange whisper, soft, almost like a woman's song. Old Mama Nnenna, who was returning from the stream, stopped midway on the narrow path. Her water pot trembled slightly on her head. She turned toward the trees and listened. It was a humming, sweet, haunting, unfamiliar. She squinted into the mist but saw nothing, only the faint glow of a figure moving slowly down the hill. Mama Nnenna muttered a prayer, crossed herself, and quickened her pace toward the village. By the time she reached her compound, sweat and fear glistened on her wrinkled face. Umuyife! People of Umuyife! Something walks the forest before the cock's second crow. But the villagers were still asleep. Only the wind replied. That was the morning the stranger arrived. By noon, the sun burned bright over the thatched roofs of Umuyife. The market buzzed, women calling out prices, the smell of roasted plantain mingling with palm wine and dust. Then she appeared. A young woman, tall and graceful, walked into the village square carrying a small suitcase. Her skin glowed like polished bronze, her eyes shone like morning dew. She wore city clothes, a flowing white gown that danced in the wind and sandals that gleamed like something from another world. The market fell silent for a heartbeat. Even the goats stopped bleating. "Who is she?" whispered one trader. "Maybe a daughter returning home," said another. But no one recognized her. She smiled, a slow, perfect smile, and said softly, "My name is Adaeze. I came from the city. My mother once lived here before she passed." Her voice was honey, smooth, calm, with a tone that could make thunder sleep. The people gathered around her, curious and enchanted. Elder Okafor stepped forward, leaning on his staff. "Welcome, Adaeze, daughter of the city. You come in peace?" She bowed slightly, eyes lowered. "In peace, father." Her politeness melted the little suspicion that lingered. Soon laughter returned to the market and Adaeze was led to Mama Nnenna's compound to rest. But Mama Nnenna never forgot the whisper she'd heard in the forest that morning. That evening, the moon sat full and golden above Umuife. The villagers gathered at the square for moonlight tales. Drums beat softly in the background as children chased fireflies. Adaeze joined them, sitting beside the young men. She laughed when they laughed, clapped when the old storyteller paused, and hummed along with the women's songs. Yet something about her laughter felt too perfect, like a sound practiced before a mirror. When the story ended, she rose and spoke. "In the city," she said, "the nights glitter brighter than stars. Music fills the air. There is meat and drink for everyone who desires it. You don't have to farm under the sun or fetch water from the stream. The city gives freely to those who are willing to follow their dreams." The youths leaned closer, their eyes wide. Obinna, the boldest among them, asked, "Is it true, Adaeze? You mean someone like me could live in the city, with light every night and money that never finishes?" Adaeze's smile deepened. "If your heart is brave and you follow me, I can show you the merry side of life." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Some laughed, thinking she was teasing, but others, especially the restless youths, felt their hearts stir with dangerous excitement. Over the next few days, Adaeze became the heartbeat of Umuife. She helped women at the stream, sang with the children, and taught the girls how to walk like city queens. But most of all, she spent time with the young men, Obinna, Kenechukwu, and Chuka, telling them about the city. "There are roads so wide you cannot see their end," she said one night under the Udala tree. "There are buildings that kiss the clouds. In the city, nobody knows hunger." Her words were like a charm. Obinna's eyes glowed with longing. Kenechukwu, the cautious one, frowned. "The city is far. What if we go and lose our way?" Adaeze chuckled softly. "You will not lose your way. I will lead you." Her gaze lingered on him longer than comfort allowed. It felt like something unseen brushed against his skin. That night, Obinna dreamed of gold rivers and laughing lights. But when he awoke, he saw the shadow of a snake sliding past his window and hissed in fear. Old Mama Nnenna visited the oracle's shrine at the edge of the forest. Smoke from the priestess's incense curled into the air like restless spirits. "I feel a shadow among us," Mama Nnenna said. "A stranger with a sweet tongue and cold eyes." The priestess, an ancient woman named Nnenna, threw her cowries and watched them scatter. The pattern froze her face. She looked up slowly. She said, "The forest stirs. A daughter of scales walks in the skin of beauty. Her path is lined with bones." Mama Nnenna gasped. "A python spirit?" Nnenna nodded. "A python sent from deep places, cursed to roam among humans. Her hunger is not for food, but for souls. What shall we do?" The priestess's voice dropped to a whisper. "Watch the night of her laughter. When the moon turns pale, blood shall follow her dance." Mama Nnenna hurried out trembling. But by the time she tried to warn the elders, they laughed it off. "A python? In human form? Mama Nnenna, you dream too much." And so, the warning was buried under laughter until it was too late. 1 week later, Adaeze gathered her followers. 5 young men, Obinna, Kenechukwu, Chuka, Ugo, and Ikenna, stood beside her, each carrying a small bag of belongings. "You are ready?" she asked. They nodded. She smiled and said softly, "Then let us go before dawn. The city awaits." Mama Nnenna tried to stop them. She stood in their path, her hands shaking. "Children, please, do not go with her. The spirits are restless." Obinna laughed nervously. "Mama, we'll be fine. You'll see me come back with riches." Adaeze placed a hand on Mama Nnenna's shoulder, her touch cold as rain. "Don't worry, Mama. I will take care of them." For a moment, Mama Nnenna saw something flicker in the girl's eyes, a glint of yellow, serpentine and ancient. She stepped back in fear. Before sunrise, the group disappeared down the forest road. The road to the city stretched wide and endless. Dust rose behind their feet, and strange birds cried from the trees. Adaeze walked ahead, humming the same haunting tune Mama Nnenna had heard weeks before. At night, when they camped, she sat apart, staring at the moon with an expression too calm for a traveler. Her shadow seemed to move on its own. On the 3rd night, Kenechukwu noticed scales glimmer briefly on her ankle before vanishing. He froze. "Did I just see?" he began. Adaeze turned her head slowly, her smile too wide. "See what?" Kenechukwu forced a laugh. "Nothing, just tired." But that night, he couldn't sleep. The forest was alive with whispering hisses. They reached the city by dusk. From the last bend of the highway, bright lights flashed like restless stars. Cars roared past, music thumped from unseen corners. The boys gasped in awe, their dreams rising like bubbles in water. "This is it," Adaeze said softly, her eyes glittering. "Welcome to the city that never sleeps." Obinna grinned. "It's more beautiful than you said it was." But as they entered deeper, the streets grew strangely empty. The light dimmed, the music faded. Only the sound of dripping water and distant echoes filled the air. Kenechukwu frowned. "Where are we?" Adaze's voice dropped low. "A place few ever see, the true heart of the city." They followed her through a narrow alley lined with broken walls and strange carvings. The air grew damp and cold. A sour smell rose from the ground. Finally, they reached an old building, its gates covered in rust, its walls wrapped in creeping vines. "This is where we rest," Adaeze said. The young men hesitated, and she turned and smiled, her teeth catching the moonlight. "Are you afraid, after coming this far?" Obinna swallowed hard. "No, just tired." She pushed the gate open. It groaned like something waking from sleep. Inside was a hall of shadows. Candlelight flickered, revealing a carved symbol of a serpent swallowing its tail. Adaze's steps echoed as she moved towards the center of the room. "Now," she whispered, "the merry side of life begins." The air thickened. The candles flared blue. Adaeze turned slowly, her white gown fluttering through though there was no wind. Her voice deepened, layered, echoing. "Did you think the city gives without taking?" Her skin rippled. The smooth bronze turned pale and scaled. Her eyes burned golden. Her hair slithered into dark twisting cords. The boys stumbled back, frozen with horror. "Adaeze, what are you doing?" Obinna stammered. She smiled, but her mouth widened unnaturally, her teeth glinting, sharp as blades. "I have walked the earth for centuries. The greedy follow me. The foolish worship me. The hungry feed me." Her arms stretched, her body lengthened. Cloth tore, flesh shimmered. Before them, Adaeze melted into her true form, a massive python, scales glistening black and gold, eyes burning like twin moons. Her hiss shook the walls. The young men screamed and scattered, but the gate slammed shut by itself. There was no escape. Ugo ran first, darting into a side corridor. His breath came in sharp gasps. Behind him, the hiss grew louder, steady, deliberate. He turned a corner and froze. Adaeze, now the python, blocked the path. Her head lowered slowly, tongue flicking. "Please," Ugo cried, "you promised us life." The serpent's voice slithered into his mind. "I promised you the merry side of life, and this is it, the feast of your soul." She struck. The hall echoed with a scream that ended too quickly. Obinna, Kenechukwu, Chuka, and Nnenna hid behind falling pillars. "What do we do?" Chuka whispered, trembling. "She's a spirit," Kenechukwu said. "No blade can kill her." Obinna clenched his fists. "There must be a way. Spirits have weaknesses." "Then find it fast," Nnenna said, voice shaking, "because she's hunting us." A sudden crash echoed through the hall. The python slithered through the shadows, her body scraping stone. Her scales glimmered in candlelight like liquid metal. Each breath of hers sounded like a sigh from the underworld. "Come out," she whispered, her voice now soft, almost tender. "You came for the good life. Come take it." Obinna's heart pounded. He remembered Mama Nnenna's words, "The spirits are restless." He closed his eyes, whispering a quick prayer. Then he saw it. In the reflection of a broken mirror, the serpent's shadow had no tail. A clue. They crawled quietly toward the central hall. Kenechukwu whispered, "She said she's walked the earth for centuries. That means she's cursed." Obinna nodded, and curses have endings. In the center of the hall stood an altar, covered in bones and dried leaves. On it lay a carved wooden mask, shaped like a serpent's face. Kenechukwu touched it gently. Maybe this binds her spirit to this place. Obinna grabbed a falling torch. "Then we end it." The hiss came again, closer, angrier. They turned. The python burst through the archway, scales flashing, eyes burning. "You dare touch my shrine?" The boy screamed as the snake lunged. Obinna swung the torch. Fire brushed her face. She recoiled, shrieking. "Burn the mask!" Kenechukwu shouted. Obinna thrust the torch on the altar. Flames exploded, licking up the walls. The air filled with the smell of burning herbs and ancient rot. The python thrashed wildly, her voice echoing like thunder. "No, you cannot break the bond!" But the fire grew stronger, consuming the symbol of the serpent. With a blinding flash, the hall shook. Then, silence. When the smoke cleared, the python lay still, half serpent, half woman. Her human face looked peaceful now, tears glistening at the corner of her eyes. Obinna stepped forward cautiously. She's human again." Her voice was faint but clear. "Once, long ago, I was a woman like you. I wanted beauty, power, and life beyond death. I went to the river spirits, and they gave me this form, half woman, half serpent. To keep my beauty, I must feed on the greed of men." Kenechukwu knelt beside her. "Then why us?" Her eyes met his. "Because your heart desired what was not yours. That is how the curse finds its prey." A soft hiss escaped her lips. Her body turned to dust. And where she lay, a single white scale remained, gleaming like a tear. The survivors, Obinna, Kenechukwu, Ikenna, and Chuka, stumbled into the dawn. They walked for hours, crossing roads and forests until the green hills of Umufe appeared again. When they entered the village, people gathered in shock. Mama Nnenna wept. "Where is she, the city girl?" she asked. Obinna lowered his head. "Gone, Mama, gone with her curse." The elders gathered that evening, listening as the young men told their story. The python woman, the cursed shrine, and the narrow escape. Elder Okafor nodded gravely. "It is as our fathers said, the city shines, but not all light is from heaven." From that day, the villagers told their children, "Never follow sweetness you don't understand." That night, the moon rose full and clear again. The air was calm, the drums silent. At the edge of the village, Mama Nnenna placed a calabash of water near the forest and whispered, "For the restless souls, may peace find you." The water rippled once, as if something unseen accepted the offering. And so the story of Adaeze, the city girl they thought was human, spread through the land. Travelers told it in markets, mothers told it by firelight, and every listener felt the same chill run through their spine. Because beauty can hide danger, and desire can lead one into the belly of darkness.